Wow, there's a lot happening out there in the world right now. Let's catch you up to speed. This episode is brought to you by the Second String Leather Company. Let's go. Hey there everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm your host Jeff Nash. I wish this was another episode with a special guest, but unfortunately it has to do with the latest news of coronavirus or COVID-19. Now, why am I doing an episode on this? Well, being that the rinks and facilities across the league are at the center of the latest news, I thought I might shed some light as to why this is such a huge issue, not only with sports fans, but with public health in general. Now, I've seen a lot of chatter about the disappointment from fans about the NHL announcing today they were postponing the season. And I'm hoping that after watching this video, you'll understand a little bit more of the gravity of the situation when it comes to sports in large facilities. Now, disclaimer off the top, this is a quickly changing event and lots is undoubtedly going to unfold after this video comes out. I'm also not an expert in the medical field, so most of this is my opinion, but I believe if you do some logical thinking and research, you'll find what I'm saying will make sense. I'm also mainly just going to focus on rinks facilities in the NHL and not the scope of the worldwide pandemic. So a quick background on COVID-19, or originally known as the coronavirus. It originated in China and was first discovered on January 12th. Generally speaking, cases remain concentrated in Asia with some exceptions. Most notably, the first cases started popping up in North America as early as January 14th in the United States. And for most of January and the majority of February, it was mainly concentrated in Asia and some parts of Europe. But in March, we've seen a huge jump in numbers of cases, including North America, and now right here in Alberta. The confirmed cases has risen to over 20. Now, to give you a little timeline on how the virus came to public events at rinks or team facilities, teams and leagues started playing to empty stadiums in attempts to prevent the spread of the virus. In Italy, soccer matches were starting to be played to empty stadiums. This strategy was a popular option as countries worldwide and certain counties in the US started banning gatherings of large amounts of people. But here in North America, on March 5th, Santa Clara County banned crowds of 1,000 people or more, which at that time included the SAP Center in San Jose, affecting 3 San Jose Shark games. This coming from California, confirming 157 cases and 3 deaths related to COVID-19. On March 7th, the IIHF canceled the 2020 Women's World Championship in Halifax. On March 9th, the NHL, the NBA, MLB, and MLS started barring media from their locker rooms and setting up a safety barrier for pre- and post-game interviews. Wednesday, March 11th saw the craziest amount of activity. First, the Columbus Blue Jackets announced that due to an announcement that the state of Ohio prohibiting large gatherings, that they would play their next home game against the Penguins to no fans in attendance. Then later that evening, there was the massive announcement that the NBA would be suspending its season because of a confirmed case of a player contracting COVID-19. This coinciding with President Donald Trump announcing a travel ban of European flights into the US, it really kicked off the suspension of almost all major and minor league seasons. And finally, on Thursday, the NHL decided to suspend their season. And the NCAA also suspended its championship season. Now, I know some fans are divided on this, but please take the following under consideration when it comes to sports teams and facilities. And this is not to stoke fear or induce panic when it comes to attending such events in the future. But by its very nature, sporting events are not the most ideal situation when it comes to contagious diseases. I want you to think about it in detail. Think of the last time you were at the rink for a hockey game or just a concert. Think about not only touching all the surfaces, but all the different factors that go into your night at that event. The food and drinks that are handled and delivered to you, the t-shirts that are thrown to you by a bunch of people, the players who spit on the ice, wash their faces and bodies on the ice, and the puck slides on it and gets shot into the crowd. You can really go down the rabbit hole, but I think you get the point. Not only that, but fans have to realize the logistics of what happens behind the scenes. 11 NHL teams share their facilities with NBA teams. Heck, Staples Center is one of many, and they host 2 NBA teams as well as the Kings. All teams often share gyms, hallways, dressing rooms, showers, benches, equipment. The list is long. And although NHL teams do travel by charter, for many teams, like most of the Canadian teams, they often share the same aircraft. So there is a risk of multiple user interactions there as well. On top of that, you also have exposure from multiple hotels in multiple cities, etc., etc. Again, this is all not to make one paranoid, But it is because of all of these exposure risks and potential interactions of a highly contagious virus that it's of my opinion that the NHL will eventually not resume this season. Now again, this is only my opinion. I'd love to see the Stanley Cup playoffs run in the summertime and playoff hockey back in Edmonton. But this is a league that spans multiple countries, states, counties, as well as 31 shared venues. And unfortunately, the league isn't really in a position to cherry pick which areas in North America they can play. Even if one playoff team is tested positive, or multiple counties, this limits where they can play games. They also have to make sure that it's almost 100% safe, because if they open up and resume too early, then it most certainly will not have a positive outcome for the league or the team venue. I'll include some links down below. Look, what's happened in Italy and around the world is pretty serious. This isn't just a regular flu. This is something that needs to be contained because it's not only about the 20,000 fans at the game or roughly 800 active players in the NHL, it's about who all of them go home to. Their elderly parents, their kids, infants, partners. As of taping this episode, it's just starting to show up and spread, and I believe it will be a long-term issue spanning many months. Those passing this off as an overreaction, think about the dollars and livelihoods of those in play here. And even after weighing all those options and financial loss, they still decided to shut everything down, to limit travel, etc. So maybe take a sober look and at least at minimum, listen to the precautions of health officials are recommending, washing your hands and staying home when you're sick. So anyways, a heavy topic for a truly precarious time, but I hope this little video sheds a little light on what's happening with Rinks around the league and why, despite a lot of fans' frustration and anger, it is the right thing to do. Hopefully this does blow all over relatively quickly, but I wouldn't get my hopes up too much. But what do you think? Your thoughts? Leave some comments down below. Follow my social channels for updates in terms of Rinks around the league. I'll be watching closely how this whole situation unfolds. To all of you watching, I hope you stay healthy, take care of your families, and hang tight. I'm sure NHL hockey will be back shortly. Thanks for watching.